in the world is the theme, you get what you pay for, or raw materials are everything, than in the world of steak. I have friends that eat in steak restaurants all over New York. They cannot eat steak. No restaurant can afford to serve a steak or serve the steak that I buy from Shotzi the butcher. These are gorgeous. All of these steaks are over the top. I have friends that no longer want to go out to dinner in the city. All they want to do is come to my house and eat steak because they know they can't get it anywhere like this. What that statement lacks in humility is made up for in its accuracy. This is as good as it can get.
We have 3 different kinds of steak. This is a rib steak. Without the bone, this is called a ribeye. This is a shell steak or a New York strip. And this is a porterhouse or a T-bone steak. If you look at the top of this steak and you take away the fillet and just look at the eye, you'll see that it's exactly the same as the shell. So the shell with the fillet on the bottom, on the bone, is a porterhouse steak. This is a ribeye or rib steak. You could actually call that a baby rib roast. You could roast that. It's big enough to stand up on its own. So it's basically 2.5 inches out of a rib, first cut of a rib roast. You could make it any way you want. I mean, he's kind of talented. He can cook it, but you could also roast it. If you look at the meat, you'll see the grain in the meat that the unknowing eye would consider fat, but it's not fat. This is fat. The outside is the fat. There is no such thing as fat inside. That's grain. And a lot of people confuse that for fat, but it's not. It's aged. As you can see, it's a little bit dark around the edges. This is about 3 weeks old. And it takes about 2 weeks to get here from the west. So it's about roughly a month old. And there's not much you need. A little salt and that's it, because the meat is exceptional.
All right, so what do we do with this steak? Very close to nothing. Ideally, Marvelous or I, whoever's here when the steaks arrive, salt the steak fairly aggressively. So we will salt these steaks. And there are people that tell you to go buy fancy salt from the Dead Sea, whatever. There's Morton salt. And we do not put butter on steaks. That's what your steak restaurants have to do to try to get within 100 yards of us. But they never make it. They can't, because they can't afford to buy this steak. Or said differently, you won't pay what they're going to charge you for this steak. So much better to grit your teeth and pay a little extra to Tony. It's not rocket science. It's buying real good meat, minimum seasoning the night before, and careful barbecuing during the day. This is why we all came. First, Tony's fabulous T-bone steak. And the show. This is the richest and the best of all. The rib steak. What we're going to do is we're not going to cook the steaks right now. We're going to brown them. We've got them on the fire, direct, and we're going to brown them on both sides fairly aggressively. This is a good fire. The fat on the sides of these steaks are going to produce a very big flame. When that flame gets big, we're going to turn the steaks over. Then we're going to take the steaks off. We're going to move them away from the fire over here, cover them with that aluminum foil roasting pan. The fire's going to be here, the steaks are going to be here, and we're going to indirect cook them. But we're going to directly sear them. Now we're going to come back and check this guy in 6-7 minutes. We're going to turn it over. We're going to make a little slice. We're going to see what it is. All right, this steak may look rare to most of us. It's not to my butcher, who's not only rare in his abilities, but rare in his taste. It wouldn't be bad for you and I. We would like it, but it is a dash rare for most of us. Nevertheless, I'm going to take it inside and give it to Shotzi the butcher because he deserves it. He provided the meat for this wonderful tasting.